Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the YOLO Revolution podcast. For many of you, you may know the Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life podcast. That was season 1. Season 2, we are talking about the YOLO Revolution. What does it mean? Why do you want to be a part of it? And what will it mean for you? So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Candace James. If you're ready to transform your life, to live with purpose, to experience more joy, to follow your dreams, and finally do what you've been waiting for someday or one day to do, then you're in the right place. Consider this your warning that you only live once, which is why I've spent the last 12 years using mindfulness-based tools to create and live my best life, traveling the world, becoming a published author, building a successful business, creating joy on demand, and helping others do the same. In this podcast, you'll learn that the only thing getting in the way of living your best life is your own mind. Join me to discover how to reprogram your subconscious and harness the power of your mind so that anything you dream in life can become your reality. Welcome to the YOLO Revolution. Hello and welcome to the YOLO Revolution podcast with your host, myself, Candace James. Welcome to the very first episode under this name. Now, like I said earlier, I did have a podcast going on, and that was the Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life podcast. And that was season 1. Now we are in the YOLO Revolution. And in this podcast, we're going to talk about why I changed it to the YOLO Revolution, what that means for you, and what you can come to expect from this podcast moving forward. Heck yes! Okay, so YOLO Revolution, what does it mean? It means you only live once, so you'd better make the most of it. You only live once. The only life that you are guaranteed to live on this earth is this one. We all have ideas of what might happen after this body goes to rest, after we pass away as this human here on earth. But we don't know for sure what happens, just like we don't know for sure what happens 5-10 minutes from now. We must rely on this idea that this is our only life here on earth. And so are you making the most of it? Are you wasting it away, doing things you don't want to do, hanging out with people you don't want to hang out with, doing things you don't like, and trying to fit your life into some little box of what you think it should be or how you should behave, or trying to reach some level of success that you've been told is what you should want to reach? And I'm here to tell you that all of that is bullshit, okay? What we need to do is we need to tap into what truly lights us up inside. You know, the Dalai Lama, I've mentioned this so many times in the past, is that the Dalai Lama was once asked, "What is the meaning of life?" And his response was, "The meaning of life is happiness." Happiness. We are put on this earth, and how do we find true joy? How do we find true happiness? How do we find a way to live our life that actually lights us up from the inside out, that makes us feel good, makes us feel amazing, makes us feel like, yes, we're on the right path. We are making the most of what we have here, and we are killing it. You know, for me, the biggest fear that I have is that one day I get to my deathbed, and that could be tomorrow, that could be 3 weeks from now, that could be 30 years from now, or 50 years from now, really. And hopefully it's more like 50 years. But, you know, when I get there, when I am faced with the fact that I am going to die, death is imminent. When I look back on my life, am I like excited about all the things I did, or do I regret the way that I lived it? Do I feel like I accomplished all my biggest desires in life, or do I feel like, man, I wish I would have done blah, blah, blah? I'm always from the realm of wishing that, or sort of thinking that I would rather think, wow, I can't believe I did that. That was pretty freaking crazy and rad and awesome and scary and all the things, rather than thinking, man, I wish I would have. And that's what the YOLO revolution is about. So I encourage you to join me. This is your call to wake up, to realize that this is the only life that we are guaranteed on this planet. And if you continue to live your life based on how you think you should live your life, what people expect of you, what you need to do for others, and what society, culture, etc. thinks that you should do, then you're never going to live the life that you truly desire and that you truly deserve. And so how can we step into this world of living your best freaking life? How can you gain the confidence, the courage to actually go out there and fight for what you want, to do what you want, to create a life that isn't necessarily what everybody says that you should do, but that you truly want to do? And this is the big difference, is that we expect things in life. You know, I used to have this aversion to the phrase, to lead a happy life, you must have no expectations. Expect nothing from no one and live a happy, healthy, fulfilled, awesome, positive life. And I used to think that that was cynical, that it was jaded, that people who expected nothing were coming from a place of defeat almost. And what I realized is that that is 100% not true. Because there's a difference between an expectation, an agreement, and a hope. And so we can wish for and work toward everything we want in life. But if we start to expect other people to behave in certain ways without an agreement, then we will be set up for disappointment, right? We must realize that the only things that we can really truly count on in this world are the things that we can control. How we are being, who we are being, how we are showing up in this world. And that is what we can count on. And if we start to place our happiness, our joy, our fulfillment on outside people, things, places, etc., then we're going to be set up for disappointment. And that is what it is in expectation. And so in this world, we often chase expectations versus what we truly want and the life that we're actually being fed, right? We can say, you know, we must let go of how we think things should be and experience things as they are. So oftentimes in life, we create a life for ourselves that we think is what we want. We want to, you know, I did this, right? I need to go to school and I need to get a degree and then I need to get a job and then I need to get this house and then I need to get a partner and then, you know, and you just keep going along this thing. And for some people that just doesn't add up. That's not what I want. I thought maybe it was because that's what I was told, that that's what we do. And that isn't what I actually wanted. And I still don't want a lot of those things. What I do want is time flexibility. I want to own my time. I want to choose when I do things. I don't want someone to tell me that I have to be here in this place doing this X amount of hours every day during whatever. I want to choose what I do. And yes, taking a job is a choice. But I want to say, you know, if on 2:00 on a Thursday afternoon, my niece is asking me to help her out with something, I want to be able to jump up and do that. I don't want to feel like my time isn't mine. So that's one of my values. One of my values is that I want to have time and space in my life to exercise, move my body, feel healthy, feel mobile. I want to feel like the only people that I keep in my inner circle, in the people that I speak to on a regular basis, are people that see me at my highest self. That when I fall into a ditch of worry or self-doubt or insecurity, that they don't let me stay there long, because they pull me right out. They don't jump in the pit and commiserate with me. Instead, they pull me out. And so these are parts of my life that I value. And we all, at some point in our life, have gotten into, maybe not everyone, but I'm assuming at some point we found ourselves in a spot in life where we're like, looking around and we're like, holy F, is this really my life? This isn't what I truly want. This isn't what I dreamt of. This isn't how I thought I would feel when I got here, and this isn't how I want to feel on a daily basis. I don't enjoy the way that I spend my days. A lot of people will wake up on a Tuesday and say, is it Friday yet? Is it the weekend? Can I get out of this reality that I live in? Oh, you wake up and you think, man, I wish this, I wish that. You start to wish for your life to be different. You wish that you could be someone different, have something different, be somewhere different. But each and every day you wake up in that same place and you have that same feeling, and that's not lighting you up inside. And so this, if that is you, if you wake up most days thinking I wish for something else, versus waking up most days and thinking, heck yes, this is my life and I love it, then I'm calling on you right now to make a change. And that is what the YOLO Revolution is all about. That is what the YOLO Revolution podcast is all about. When we are born, right? We are brought into this world and we are given a name. I was given the name Candace, right? We are given a name, and for a lot of us, we are given a religion, or maybe a lack thereof. Maybe we don't have a religion, and that is in itself a label on who we are and what our family believes in, right? People say to me, I say I'm Canadian. They're like, oh, but what are you really, right? So people want to know your lineage. So I'm Scottish and I'm English and I'm Serbian, right? My grandmother was Serbian. The rest of my family was English and Scottish. What are you? What are you? People want to know, what are you? Where are you from? They're already, from this very small age, starting to define in their own eyes who you are. And in turn, defining you for yourself on who you are. Now, some people grow up with, very much of a national pride or a cultural pride, or, this is where I'm from and this is how we are, and, I'm from Canada, go Canada, I'm Canadian, right? Now, there was a point in my life where I felt proud to be Canadian. And I don't have those same feelings anymore. I actually think nationalism can get us into more trouble than it can get us into good. How many wars have been started? How many divisions have been created based on what we believe, right? We drew these lines on the earth and we said, you're from here and I'm from here. And if you're from there, I won't help you. But if you're from here, I will help you, right? There's so much I can go into this. This could be a whole freaking 5-hour podcast, how I feel about these things. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of, national pride and where are you from and what's your culture, right? So I'm English, Scottish, and Serbian. And so what does that mean? And my name is Candace and I'm from Canada and I was born in, where am I born? Ontario, right? And all of these things is we start to create this identity of who we are. And it's created from the moment that we're born, and our parents give us a name and a religion and a location, right? And nationality. And it starts to be created. And as we get older, we become accustomed to these types of things. And then as we get older, we're about 2 or we're 1 and we're starting to walk. And our parents are, yeah, walk, walk, walk. And then you almost hit your head off the corner of a coffee table and they go, oh my God, be careful, right? And so you weren't scared before because you didn't hit yourself. So now all of a sudden you get this stress response in your body based on what your parents are screaming at you. And so it becomes this, right? Everything that's happening to us is building who we are. And so if you have parents that are very cautious about, you walking and doing whatever, like you're going to start to build that in your own system too, right? You're going to have a bit more nervousness in your system. You're going to be built on that, right? Then you start to go to school and you start to learn from other people. You start to learn from your peers. You learn from the teachers. You learn from all sorts of different people when you start to go to school. And I think it's important to note is that the schools that most people go to are, sanctioned by the government. And so the government creates the program, right? So what do you learn in school? They create that. Then they teach people, and as they get older, then they go to more school to learn the curriculum, and then they get sent into the world as teachers, right? So they've gone through the whole system. Now, the interesting thing is that the only thing that is in the curriculum is stuff that the government wants you to learn, right? So the government creates the curriculum. So now you have this influence of your parents, your family members, probably your siblings. If you have siblings, they've told you what is and what isn't about the world. And now you're at school, and now you have the government and the teachers who were trained by the government, and you have all sorts of other peers and people from different places and all sorts of stuff that's going on. And you start to learn from your peers, from the teachers, from the schools, from the parents, from whatever. You start to learn. So now again, you're being told what to believe, what is true. And then as you get older, you go into high school, and now your peers likely have an even bigger influence. I was bullied in high school, so what did that make me believe about myself? I wasn't worthy, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't pretty enough, my voice was terrible. I used to get made fun of for my voice, right? They said that I had a terrible voice. She sounds like a man. Why would she even speak, is what they said. And I speak because I have something to say, just like everybody has something to say. And, right, we go on. And so how did that affect me as I went into college? And then in college, we're told, I learned about macro and microeconomics, and, all of these are systems that we've created as humans, and then we just continue to teach to more humans, and we go down the line. And so the point of this is that from the moment that you're born, you have all of these influences coming at you, telling you what you should believe about the world, what you should believe about yourself, what you should believe about the earth, about religion, about everything. And then, of course, we've touched on schools and governments and all these different things. And then we also are told from media and social media and all these different things. What should we believe? How we should be, what we should do, all this stuff. And then we wonder why at some point in our lives we start to feel like, man, what am I doing with my life? I feel lost. I feel unfulfilled, because what we are doing is saying that everybody has the same path, and that this is what success looks like. This is what success doesn't look like. This is what beauty looks like. This is what beauty is not, right? If you are beautiful, you look like this. And if you are anything else, then you are not considered beautiful, right? Everything from the way we think to the way we look to the way we feel is being told to us on a constant basis. And what happens is that a lot of us lose sight of who we truly are, what we truly want. And we wake up one day in life going, what in the hell is going on right now? Where am I? I am not fulfilled. I do not like what I'm doing. If this is what life is all about, please give me something different. I do not want this. Or perhaps you were super happy in all of this going through your life, but then suddenly, maybe now you're not. Maybe you want something different. And you feel fear when it comes to moving towards that place. I want to change things up. I want to be different. I want to do something different. I want to go against the grain. And how often do we sit in fear, insecurity, self-doubt, indecision about, this probably isn't the right thing to do. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. What will people think of me? And so we stay in this place where we're not really happy, and we just stay there because we don't really know where else to go, who else to be, and what else to do. For many of us, we think, I know that where I am right now in life is not super fulfilling. And maybe you've even thought to yourself, is this really all that life is? Is this really all there is out there? And maybe it's something simple. Maybe it's just something where you're like, man, I wish I could tell this person that. But you fear what they're going to say to you back. We live our lives in a state of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough, fear of doing the wrong thing. And to all of that, I say, fuck the fear and do it anyway. In my life, I have, I was in my book, which, P.S., if you haven't got it yet, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life by myself, Candace James. You can get it on Amazon. I have a whole chapter about becoming your own best friend. What did it look like for me to be bullied all through school and to overcome that and become a self-confident, powerful human being who can find the courage to stand up to who I truly know that I should be. And that's the thing, is we often lack the courage to stand up to what feels difficult in life. Because it's easier to stay where we are because it feels safe. We know the outcome. If we stay exactly where we are, we know where we're going to be. We know what it feels like, and we feel more comfortable being somewhere that we know what it feels like versus going somewhere and doing something that is different, that is unknown. And I'm here to challenge all of that. I want to challenge all of that. I want you to stand up for what it is you truly want in life. That thing you've been thinking about doing for the past 5 years, but you've never gotten up the courage to actually do it because you have a list of 25 million reasons in your head that you shouldn't do it, couldn't do it, wouldn't do it. It's not right. It's not for you. What will people think? I recently spoke to someone who came to one of my trainings, and they were telling me all about this dream they had about building this farm and building this, this amazing life for themselves. And I said, what's preventing you? And they said, my fear. And I said, great. And how long has that fear been preventing you from doing that? And they said, 15 years. 15 years ago, they took the certification they needed to do what they wanted to do in life. And for 15 years, they've sat there doing nothing because it scares them. Because what if it doesn't work? Because what if I invest the money, time, energy, I tell people all about it, and then I fail? Well, fuck it. Who cares if you fail? At least you tried. You can 100% guarantee that you're not going to get where you want to go in life if you never effing try. And you can guarantee that you will at least see if you can get there if you do try. So many people, and this is why I'm here, and this is what I'm so passionate about, is that we have these thoughts and beliefs and ideas in our head about so many things. And we're going to uncover some of these in the podcast, but they're holding you back. The number one thing that's holding you back in your life is your own mind, your own thoughts about whether you can or can't do something, and what you're going to feel if somebody else says you can or can't do something. But you only live once. Hello, you only live once. Are you waiting for someday or one day to do that thing? Because someday or one day might never effing come. It just might never come. And I'm not saying doing that thing is going to be easy, or it's going to be, maybe you won't even get there. But wouldn't you rather know that you tried rather than just succumbing to a life that doesn't fill you up? We live these lives where we are just in such a rush to get places to get things, to accomplish, I got a degree and I did this and I accomplished this and I accomplished that, but we're not even paying attention to what truly lights us up. We should all be number one goal. How do I live a life that when I wake up in the morning, I'm super effing excited to live the day out and do what I got to do? That if I were to die today, I would be like, fuck yeah, I gave it my all. Because some of you will know this, that I suffered from really bad, debilitating PTSD-induced anxiety, where I feared death every single day because I almost died. I've almost died twice in my life, near-death experiences. And then the second one created a PTSD anxiety, right? So I started getting really intense anxiety around dying. And then one day I was in a plane and I was coming home from Chiang Mai, Thailand, where I'd lived for 5.5 years. And I said to myself, if I died today, how would I feel about that? And I could honestly say to myself, not bad. I've done more things, gone after more things, tried my hardest at the most random or awesome things than most people I know 2 or 3 times my age. I have done a lot of stuff, and I'm proud of every moment of it. And that is what I want to bring to everyone out there. Those moments that I felt so scared to tell someone what I thought or how I felt or what I wanted to do. Those are the moments that I remember. Those moments, when I jumped out of a plane. I recently posted this photo on Instagram of myself when I was jumping out of a plane, and the terror, the sheer terror on my face in that moment. Oh my God. It was sheer terror. And I was in this tiny little plane with this dude strapped to my back, and he had a parachute. I didn't have a parachute, but I had this guy strapped to my back, and he was going to guide me down on this skydiving mission. And we opened the door of the plane, and the wind just comes blowing in, and I'm like, what have I done? And he says, okay, here we go. And he straps me on, and we get to the edge, and he says, put your leg out on the wing of the plane. This just is so cray-cray. Put your leg out on the wing of the plane. Put your foot there. And as I'm doing that, I'm trying to get my leg out, and it's just blowing in the wind. Like, it's so hard for me to get it on the wing of the plane, but I do. I get it there. And the wind is coming in, and I'm looking down, and we are so high up. We're in a freaking plane. And I'm like, oh my God. And that's when they snapped the picture of me just like, oh, what have I done? And moments after that picture was 3, 2, 1, fly, poof. And he just pushes me out of the plane, and we go tumbling through the air, free falling until whoosh, he pulls the parachute. And we start to just float. And now we're still so high up, and let it be known, I'm terribly afraid of heights. But I went skydiving. We're terribly afraid of heights, and yet we're floating there in the air in this parachute, and we're going down. It's still kind of fast, but we're going, and it was so silent. I'd never heard anything so silent, right? Normally when we're at our homes or we're in our yards, or even if we're going camping at a lot of places, right? You hear cars going by, you hear animals, you hear whatever. But here we are, I have no idea how high up in the sky, hundreds of, maybe thousands of feet up in the sky, and it is silent. And I've never heard silence like that. And I just remember being in utter awe and looking at the world in a completely new way. And then we get to the ground and we do our landing, and we put my feet out, and then basically what happens is you end up landing on your butt with your feet out in front of you. And this guy is right behind me because he's strapped to my back, in case I didn't mention that. I know I did, but anyways. And so then we land on the ground, and the parachute goes down to the ground. And the people from the place where we were parachuting from, they came up and they said, so, like, how was it? And I just remember sitting there staring at them, like, this face, like Like, I don't even know. Like, there's pictures of me, and the smile is bigger than my head. I swear to God. Like, I don't even know how that smile fit on my face. And I just looked at them and I said, I want to go. Or at first I said, that was crazy shit, or something like that. And then I said, I want to go again. And they started laughing. And then I didn't talk. I was there with my brother-in-law, and I thought we were going to be like, me and him used to go on roller coasters and stuff all the time. And I thought it was going to be like that. You get off the roller coaster and you're like, wow, right? No, we didn't talk for about an hour, and we're driving home, and all of a sudden we got super like, and just started talking. So we pulled over, we went to a pub, we had a drink, we had some food. We were so hungry, but you know, it's like that fear that I felt coming out of the airplane was replaced with the most amazing feeling. It was pride, it was joy, it was adrenaline, it was life. It was just this incredible, incredible feeling of like, holy shit, I can't believe I did that. And that is what made it such a special moment. And that is such a great, reminder of all the other times in my life where I felt like that. When I landed in Thailand and I was by myself, and it was the first time I'd ever gone to Southeast Asia, and there I was by myself, a backpack, everything back at home in Canada. I'd sold it all or put it in my parents' basement, but I had nothing really back home, and I had this backpack, and I was in Thailand, and I had to get to this guest house, I had to get to this town, I had to get to whatever, and it was just like, wow. That was also terrifying. And so it was also one of the most gratifying things I've ever done. And so you often hear, on the other side of fear is everything you could have ever dreamed for. And I can't stress that enough. When you fear something, and I'm not talking about like danger, right? Like someone's going to kill you. Yeah, don't go towards that. But when we fear something, when we fear this idea, this possible direction in our life, when we fear something, I say, fuck that fear and do it anyways. Because when we feel that fear, it means it's something massive for us. And we got to stop playing it safe. You only live once. Just imagine what's waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. Everything that's amazing is on the outside of your comfort zone. That's where you're going to feel alive. That's where you're going to feel like you're really, truly showing up in this world and living the best gosh darn life that you possibly can. And so I encourage you to F the fear and do it anyways. You only live once. Are you going to spend that life doing things that you don't like, hanging out with people you don't care for, trying to fit your life in this little box of how you think it should be? Or are you going to listen to your heart and soul and follow your dreams and do what you want to do and tell those people what you think and tell them how much you care about them and create amazing experiences in your life? Because let me tell you, it is way more amazing to have given it a shot and it not gone well than to never know what it feels like. Because when you never know what it feels like, you start to feel this lingering feeling of regret, of I could have, should have, would have, what if. But at least when you do these things, you know. And when you really truly want them, when you really truly desire them, you can make the majority of them happen. There's that phrase that I love, and it's, if you can dream it, you can do it. Because if the idea came from you, from within your body, it is a sign that this is something that is possible, that is beautiful, that you can do, that you can achieve. And so quit playing it frickin' safe and get out there, live your best life, do what you want to do, and shake off the shackles of the should be's, could be's, could do's, whatever, gotta do, all these things that people are telling you in your life is how you should be or how you should show up or any of that jam. And I just want you to freaking go out there and get it. Get it. Get it. And that that is what we're talking about here on the YOLO Revolution. And I'm going to be bringing on some incredible guests who have all gone through this same process, who have faced those fears, have done it anyways, and have come out on the other side excited and ready to share their journey so that you too can be inspired to get off this horse of complacency and get out there and live the life that you're meant to live, because we all deserve to live a life that feels joyful, that feels exciting, that fills us up inside, and that fills us with joy, fulfillment. And so this is my request to you. Will you join the YOLO revolution? Will you join the YOLO revolution? Will you stand up and do what you need to do to create the life that you want to live? And if not yet, stay tuned, continue with us, and you will have that courage. You will find that courage within to do exactly that, because this is what this podcast is all about, inspiring you to take those moves, take those chances, take action, and actually get out there and be the person you need to be, create the life you deserve to create and live, and actually finally live the very best version of your life. And I am excited to be here with you on this journey. And this is the YOLO Revolution. So thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Please go follow me on the Instagrams at CandiceJames.kj. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode. And we will be back soon with another episode. I want to hear from you, literally, like DMs, send me a question, tag me. What was your takeaway? I want to hear from you. What did this episode mean to you? What does the YOLO revolution mean to you? And what is it, if you could create anything in your life, what is it that you would create? I want to hear it. Let me know. Send me a DM, follow us, subscribe on Spotify. We've also got this on the YouTube's, Apple Podcasts. We are everywhere. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and send me a DM. Let me know what you thought. Until next time, peace. Did you know the number one thing holding people back from achieving their dreams and living their best life is their own mind? Or more specifically, the fears that your mind has created. I believe that in order to live your best life, you've got to feel the fear and do it anyway. That's why I've created a brand new audio program entitled Find Your Courage. I want to show you how to think, act, and behave like the powerful human you were meant to be, so you can finally live a life of fulfillment, passion, and joy. And the best part is, this program is yours absolutely free. To register right now, simply visit CandiceJames.com/courage, and we can get started right now.